What's up, you guys? Chase the Dark Sage here, and today we are back with another video. And today's video is going to be another entry in the So I Tried series, where basically I take a manga volume, or in this case, a manhwa volume. I try it out, I check it out, and I give you guys my thoughts and review on this series. And in today's video, we'll be talking about the first manhwa on the channel, which is The Horizon by JH, the same creator behind The Boxer, which I still need to read, but I need to see what this is about. I gotta see what this is about. Now, I'm not a big manhwa fan. I have nothing against it. I just never really tried that many before because, well, I'm more of a physical guy. And if it doesn't have a physical, there's a 99% chance that I'm not going to read it. But with the uprise of manhwa being printed for English-speaking audiences, it's a great time to actually get into them. Huge shout out to Yen Press and Izzy Press for sending me this early copy of The Horizon to tell you guys about it and see if you want to check it out. This does come out June 2023, so you got plenty of time to save up them coins to see if you want to buy this. Now, I will give you guys a disclaimer before we actually get into the video. Just because I was sent this manhwa volume from Yen Press and Izzy Press, which I highly appreciate, that won't sway my opinion because you guys know I gotta keep it real on the channel. Before we actually get into my thoughts, the plot, the writing, the characters, and all types of things that's happening in this manhwa volume, I gotta say, if you have not already, go ahead, like the video and hit the subscribe button, and follow me on all my other social media platforms. All my links will be in the description down below. So, let's go ahead and take a look at this actual volume itself. This is The Horizon Volume 1, produced by Izzy Press and Yen Press. This manhwa was written and drawn by JH and contains 5 episodes within this volume. Episodes are what they call chapters for this series, and there are also no chapter breaks as well, so you just keep reading and reading until you're done with this volume. This really kept me immersed throughout my entire read through, so I gotta say that's a low-key slept on feature. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the plot. This story starts off with us looking through a young boy's point of view of many humans killing each other and mayhem just happening. Amongst this chaos, we see him trying to put back the remains of a brain back into a woman's head, who we soon figure out to be his mother. Now, this is when I knew that the world that we just entered was a truly messed up one. And I liked it. This is definitely a more serious and different approach to anything that I've read before. I'm not really into post-apocalyptic stuff except for Fire Punch, but this volume right here, it actually really caught me. Along the boy's journey, who we strangely don't have a name for yet, is met by a young girl seeming to be around the same age. They soon start to travel with each other until they are encountered by a weird adult man. This guy gave me the creeps, especially with how the manhwa artist depicts this guy by being a completely different color than the boy and the girl. I realized that could have came off pretty racy, which it isn't, and if you read the manhwa volume, you'll definitely get what I meant by that comment. During this journey, the boy is paranoid of the adult man from either stealing resources from them or stealing his young girlfriend away from him. There's plenty of times he tries to make an escape with the girl away from him, but it's never successful, especially with the girl later on feeling guilty with trying to leave him, so she feels that they should just actually keep tagging along with the adult man. Oh boy, that was not a good idea. Literally the worst fear I could have imagined happening, happened. The adult male at some point during their travels physically attacks the boy and tries to maul the little girl. Not gonna cap, a traumatic event happening like this is kind of perfect for establishing how dark, cruel, and the type of utter chaos that the world has been plunged into and what the creator is trying to put us in. Now, do I agree with the character doing this? Of course not. But would a character really do this if this was a post-apocalyptic type of world that we was in? Well, I don't know, and I don't want to find out. This just shows that the adults in this world have kind of lost their mind, because that's kind of who you see like falling down and creating some very chaotic situations or some very violent actions across this world, at least from what we've presented so far. Before the adult can actually commit to the full act of mauling, the young boy ends up stabbing him multiple times until he's done for. The boy and the girl right after just keep continuing with their travels with no place to go. I'm just glad that they're back to being safe, and honestly, nothing could go wrong from this situation. But then they are knocked out by some blow darts and kidnapped by even more adults. Well, I guess I spoke too soon. And honestly, that's all I have to say about this plot from this manhwa volume right here. This plot really grabbed me into what the story really could be, and I'm really anticipating where the story could go after this. Now, we didn't get much dialogue in this volume right here, and it was a super quick read considering how thick this thing is. Pause. But enough about the plot, let's actually talk about the artwork and the paneling. The artwork is alright, you could definitely tell that this comes from a webtoon. Most, if not all, panels are in a rectangle shape with no other shape, so I could definitely see how this comes from an app/website reader scrolling up and down like on the webtoon app, but I didn't have a problem reading this with how it is formatted in the physical format. As a manga reader, it is a bit weird going from reading right to left while reading this manhwa going left to right, but I had no problems adjusting. I also wanted to add that there were splashes of colors here and there, which I wasn't expecting, but added a bit more oomph to the setting and situation at hand. Overall, I had no problem reading this manhwa volume right here, but I do kind of wonder, what did them double page spreads look like when you're reading it on an e-reader? That's just what I'm thinking. Now, usually I talk about the characters and the setting in a different section than the section that we're in right now, but since there was so little for me to go off of, we're just gonna include it in this section right here. And when it comes to the characters, there's only 3 to focus on: the boy, the girl, and the weird man. There's not much to say about their characters because, well, there's not much dialogue exchange between either parties. And that leads me on to my next point. I can't really say too much about the writing. The artwork does a lot of the heavy lifting for this story so far. There's little to almost no dialogue throughout this whole volume. In fact, I thought some of the characters couldn't talk until they talked. While there is little dialogue, it's pretty easy to follow what's happening, the state of the world, and how these characters feel, which is one of the most important things that the artwork could do when trying to communicate these things to us. Now, the goals, motivation, and drive for these characters, or what the author is going for as of now, is very uncertain, but I saw that on the Webtoon website that it is done, so there is some type of finish line to actually reach. I'm just super curious on what it is and how this will all play out because, well, this manhwa makes me pose many questions. Either way, I'm kind of digging the dark atmosphere that this manhwa is really bringing, and I want to see what more it has in store. Now, to bring this video to a close, I gotta say that this is definitely something different that I'm used to reading before. And that's a good thing. Adding a bit more variety to the genres I read can lead to many more series that I haven't read put on my radar. I think it's just a bit too soon to come up with some concrete thoughts about this series so far, but I will say I was engaged throughout my time reading it. The world is different, and seeing it from a young kid's eyes makes me think what I would do in this situation. Probably nothing, because I already know that I'm a wimp. This series seems gritty with a dark atmosphere surrounding it, and honestly, that's really attractive to me. You could probably tell by now that I'm gonna keep reading this. Nothing insane writing wise happens, but it definitely hooked me. So for this volume, I have to give The Horizon, Volume 1, a 6 out of 10. Now, I will give you guys a disclaimer. Just because I was sent this manga volume, I realized I could come off pretty racy, but it isn't. Trust me, it's not. If you read the manga, if you read the manhwa volume, you'll get what I'm trying to say. I'm not gonna say that it's not gonna happen or it's not gonna be a possibility, but let's be real. We gotta put ourselves in the footstep. But let's be real, we gotta put ourselves in the foots. I'm just glad to. This plot really grabbed me and, you know, gave. Overall, I had no problem reading this manga.